Welcome to the Communication Skills Workshop, part of the Skills in Action training program. Communication is a transferable skill, handy for preparing for, finding, and keeping a job, as well as adapting to a new situation and succeeding at work. Communication involves two or more people taking turns speaking. It's a type of dialogue. Communication involves an exchange between people, one person who sends a message and one person or more who receives it, with the conversation participants arriving at an agreement and a common understanding. Communication is a two-way street. For example, smiling and mime, as well as eye contact, nodding, hand gestures, or tone of voice all communicate information above and beyond the words we use. Nonverbal communication primarily consists of posture, gestures, and facial expressions. This type of communication is conveyed without the spoken word. It's known as nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is diverse. For example, in many countries, shaking hands is not a standard greeting. Similarly, in other countries, if you make direct eye contact with someone, you are being disrespectful. Communication may be complicated. To become better at nonverbal communication, we must be aware of the fact gestures and mime may have different meanings for people of different generations, cultures, or countries.
When we try to deepen our understanding of the other person, they will do the same. That ensures a reciprocal process, a two-way street. As a result, both conversation partners will have a better opinion of each other. But to reach that goal, they will have to engage in active listening. Active listening requires a vigilant level of attention, leading to mutual understanding above and beyond the individual words spoken. The approach often makes misinterpretations, misheard words, and misunderstandings avoidable. A final example of the active listening tool is the interpretative approach. This research-based type of listening approach involves interpreting the information in a broader context. The active listening approach is when the listener, that is, the person who initially receives the message, gathers the information and, in a way, summarizes the message. Next, the listener can return the favor and ask the initial speaker if their understanding of the message is accurate. If so, the listener demonstrates clearly that they understood the information in the message. During the communication process, we often think we have to speak or make gestures, but in fact, communication also means being present for the other person. From this perspective, silence is a way of communicating, as well as a way of being present for the other person. Active listening begins when we are attentive to what the other person is saying. It boils down to trying to understand things from the other person's perspective and demonstrating that you care about what the other person is trying to communicate. And, hello, Sarah.
Hey, Julian, you're right. We have to demonstrate that we're being attentive. And pardon me, if you don't mind, but you really should put down the phone if you want to show that you're being attentive. Shouldn't you?
Yes, you're quite right, Sarah. We agree on that point.
During the workshop on problem-solving skills, Clara introduced the PDCA method. Now, it's my turn to draw inspiration from it to present various aspects of communication related to project management. It's a subject I'm passionate about and I know very well. Yes, many other terrific methods exist that are more developed, accurate, and recent, but they are also more complex and harder to explain. So, why did I choose the PDCA method? Because it's user-friendly and provides a detailed context for managing improvement projects. Here's a short outline of the 4 steps of project implementation using the PDCA method. Recall the training session on problem solving. At the planning stage, it's necessary to draft a project blueprint. What are the objectives or what situation requires improvement? And what are the activities, timelines, budgets, and indicators? For example, during this stage, plans involve communication and risk management, quality control, and resource planning begin to take shape. The indicators are used to observe changes in the initial situation following a project-related activity. During project implementation, effective and successful communication within a work team is definitely an important asset. When we must use or communicate information, it's important to avoid bias. That is, avoid altering the information and modifying to suit our opinions. The same applies to our message when we want to convey information or describe a situation. Therefore, it's best to describe a situation as objectively as possible by employing facts more than our personal opinions and assumptions. In addition, we ought to convey our message emphasizing the goal and purpose. Other issues raised by the various steps of the PDCA method we've explored already are: distinguish facts, opinions, and assumptions; openness to asking others for help as needed; offer others opportunities to share their comments and suggestions; attitudes and behaviors that can lead to effective communication. Effective communication increases the likelihood of project success.